If you're watching the replay of the live show, then you would know how weird this moment actually is when you just turn on the camera and then you're set to go live and you're just, waiting for people to show up before we start talking. But anyway, the show must go on. I was actually listening to another show before coming here. So let me just check here to see if YouTube is working. Yeah, it is working. That is cool. I should turn this off here. Perfect. We have two people watching. Maybe it's just me actually. All right. So we're going to start the show proper in a couple. I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Need to make sure. All right. So we're going to start the show proper in a couple. I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Need to make sure. Oh, I just found out something that didn't happen the last time. And that is that my speakers are connected. That was weird. Hearing your voice bounce back in your head. So I had to turn off my loudspeaker so that I could actually just use this one. So, hello, I see you have 3 people showing up here. You can say a word, say something, anything. Let me know that these are human beings. Haha, Monsieur Christian Cedric, welcome, brother. It's been at least, 12, how many years? 15 years. I don't know. Anyway, welcome. It's good to have you. Good to have you here. And I'm sure this is actually the first time I'm seeing your comment on the show. So this is good. This is a good sign. I'm stoked about this today. And since you're hearing me clearly, I can, stop bothering about the audio. And what is today's show going to be? We are going to talk about a few things. First, the article that I was writing this morning. I stumbled on a nugget of it's like, one of those moments that you discover something about yourself that, it seems very minute, very boring, simple, but it's something that you can apply to really improve and maximize your productivity. For me, I realized, I've been thinking about the idea for a while, the whole idea of writing, dividing your writing phase into different phases where, idea generation is one phase, editing is another phase, getting your sources, getting your quotes, getting your research, all those things. Because I think a lot of the difficulty most people have with writing, especially people who are starting to write, articles or blogs or even just Facebook posts, is that sometimes we want to write everything in one go. And I think that's a problem that if you do a lot of writing and you read a lot of people write about writing, you realize that they always tell you to separate the editing and the creation. And that's something I discovered this morning. So I actually wrote an article. I don't know if we'll go through it. Something about the month. It's the 1st of August. You're starting the new month, and then you're probably in that space like, well, it could be a new beginning for something. Or maybe if you aren't, my goal is to at least point some of those things that you may make use of and then use as a year, as the year, the month is starting, or maybe even the week, or maybe the day. I think as a human being, for me, the whole idea of cycles of like starting things over, it just encourages me a lot. So, I've gone through failures like you. I've gone through a lot of things that are difficult, maybe heartbreaks, job losses, or just projects failing in general. And I think that being able to appreciate that cycle of when you're down and then looking forward to going back up and then using what is up to prepare for when you're going down, like that whole cycle, I feel like the day is that way, the week, the month, even the year. But today, when I woke up and was thinking about August, I was planning almost to like almost all of July. I was planning for the next couple of months. I've not finished. I don't know if you can see the board there, but I've been trying to figure out, like, actually do a plan, which is something that I don't normally do. I tend to just jump in and just create and just hope for the best. But yeah, you do that a lot of times and you discover that it doesn't work. You can't just hope. You need an actual plan. So yeah. Anyway, before we do that, let me know where you're watching us from. Just say your name. Mrs. Sejiga, so you said something there. So yeah, say your name. Your name is already on it. So just let me know where you're watching from, what you're doing, and hey, what you're working on for the month of August. So while you're doing that, I'm going to be looking here to see if I need to share this anywhere else. And also, if you're enjoying this and if you would like to help me out, just hit the share button. If you're watching from what's it called, YouTube, you can also share on other platforms. So looking forward to talking to you about the whole process of writing, these 4 steps that I figured out for myself that you may use for your own month, and also some shows that I've been watching. I finished watching Hanna. I don't know if you know what Hanna is. Let me see if I can find it here and share. Hanna, yeah, Hanna is an Amazon Prime show that I started watching. So it's American web television series. Let me share that. I love how's it called? StreamYard, because you can do some really cool things. We have 9 more people watching, actually 8 now. Somebody left. Oh my god, who left? But wait, they will never know who left because they will not be able to tell me if they left. But anyway, if you're jumping in right now, just let me know where you're watching from, what you're up to, and this is going to be just like an hour, probably less than an hour. The reason why I stopped the weekend debate was because of how exhausting being live actually is. I think people, if you haven't tried being live, going live, you don't like. Yeah, it can take a toll on you because there's this feeling for me anyway that I need to be talking throughout the whole period. Because, for example, it's been 6 minutes. My friend Christian Cedric has said, he can hear me, so I know I have audio feedback. But I don't know if what you're watching. Hey, Gina, welcome. Alex, oh, this is good. I have Molai comment. This is Henry from Prague, Czech Republic. This is awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm really glad to hear that. So there's probably a lag. So I guess when I was saying what I was saying, now they're responding. Yep, Alex from Cameroon. Let me think. Let me link this to one of my Vero spaces. Be right back using my cell phone. Cool. Awesome. Jay McCrae, thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is nice. I'm really, really glad to have you here. Now I feel like I'm having a conversation. It's not just me talking to this lens and feeling like, oh my God, what am I doing on the internet? But anyway, it's good. Right? Yeah, Gina says you need to talk the entire time. If you see me moving around in a weird way, it's because the screen that I'm looking at is this way. So it's right here behind the camera. And then I connected my camera using this app called Sparco Cam. And my friend Alex says I speak too fast. So if I'm speaking too fast, I would slow down. I tend to speak fast when I'm excited or nervous or worried. So I think I'm excited right now. I'm going to feel excited. Yeah. So if you're jumping in, the goal of today's live, which is like every Saturday, I do a live show here at the same time, trying to stick to a schedule, is to bring value to you, to answer questions about social media marketing, writing, life in the US, all those, whatever comes up. But usually I pick the topics based on what I've been working on for that week and then talk about it and see what you can learn from. It's not just about me, talk about my voice or whatever it is, but see what I can bring to the table. And one key concept that I've been talking about or thinking for the past week and that I wrote about this morning, I just finished a draft, is the idea that you can use the beginning of a week, the beginning of a month, and also to do that. And yeah, I want to know how you to connect your camera through Sparco Cam. Okay, so yes, Gina, I use Sparco Cam. So I found Sparco Cam through this lady. Her name is her channel is called, can't find it. I think it's Diana Gladly. I'll find a video here and show you. She runs a channel on YouTube called Entrepreneur Woman, something. Yeah, but she does a lot of reviews about connecting camera. Like she makes videos to help small businesses leverage video to grow their audiences. So I found out about Sparco Cam through her. She was talking about Ecamm Live for Mac and then Sparco Cam for. Oh wait, it's Josh. Josh, I know. Sorry, I didn't read that. It's a Josh. Thank you, man. Jay is actually Josh. I did not see that. I need to. Yes, I'm going to pull my notes here so I can have space to work on this. I can see it now. Cool. What I'm going to do is actually share your. So this is my friend Cedric. Cedric says he could hear me, and then Alex was saying that I speak that I speak too fast. Hey, c'est moi. Je fais comment? Gina said hello, and then we have Henry here. Says Henry from Prague, Czech Republic. I've never been to the Czech Republic. Now that I think about it, I mean, I've never been to any other country except Cameroon and the US. And we have my friend Etincelle here from Cameroon. And Cedric says he's going to link to his Vero space. I don't know what Vero space is. Can you share more what that is? I have no idea. And Josh, this is Josh, my coworker. We actually work for the same company, and he says it's Josh. Josh R. I know who that is. And then we have Gina. Gina was saying, being live, you need to talk the entire time. If not, we'll vanish. That's so stressful, isn't it? Then I can talk for Africa. And then, so Gina wanted to know how I'm able to connect my camera through Sparco Cam. So first, I'm going to find that video here for you and just share with you so you can make use of that. I think it's a powerful tool. I paid for it because the free version puts a big stamp, a Sparco Cam stamp on it. And I don't know about you, but I just don't like those kind of things. But anyway, I put it there, and then my friend Cedric is back. Cedric is an amazing writer and blogger, and looking forward to that. Oh man. Oh yeah. That's all right. That's completely fine. It's going to stay on for the bit. I know. I mean, the whole world now, everybody's doing everything online. So just showing up here really means a lot to me. I appreciate that, Henry. I'm looking forward to having you on the next one. It's going to be every Saturday at the same time. But if you have a class every Saturday at the same time, it means you'll not be able to catch me. But you can always watch the live after that on what's it called? On thank you. You wishing me a nice session. Thanks. Awesome. Yeah. So you can watch a live session on YouTube, and it's on YouTube and Facebook. So this is pretty cool. So if you haven't shared it yet on Facebook, please do share if you can. If you don't have to, but I would appreciate it if you do. And so let's start with those things. I really want to give the most important part of this whole live show so that I can, if you have to leave at some point, that's completely fine. You don't have to stay here for the whole hour. Let me share with you the article that I wrote. Just one moment here. Let me get that. What is that thing? Oh yeah, share screen is here. Do not show these tips again. I want to see the tips. Chrome tab, 4 powerful ways. All right, cool. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my screen? Can you see? I'm sharing are you able to see what's going on here? Thank you. Yeah. So let me tell you something. You should not make this woman to have too much fun on this channel. If not, I'm not going to have a channel anymore. I'm not going to have a job. All right. Please don't make her feel too good about this. I'm not even able to sleep. Oh. The comments you've been sending, the feedback you've been giving, she's been jumping around this house. So no. Yeah, actually she's sleeping because she's since the beginning of July till today's the 31st, right? 31st of July. Sorry, today's the 1st of August. She just finished her night's rotation. She was doing OB rotation, and she'll work in the night from 6. So she'll leave the house at 6 p.m. and then come back at 6 a.m. in the morning. And so right now she's sleeping. She's going to wake up. It's like her only day off that she's had in probably almost a month. She has like one day off every so often. But anyway, she's sleeping right now. That's why she cannot come. But the real reason is that I don't want her to come and take over this channel. Now that is clear, let's focus on what is important. Anyway, but she's enjoying what we're doing, and I think she's looking forward to it. We have another video. So if you look at my wall here, I'm currently actually working a lot more. Let me take this thing off. I'm working on doing a lot more video content, actually both video and writing, but I'm really focusing a lot on video and creation. So I'm making a plan which is still tied to what we're talking about in the video today, which is figuring out how to leverage your goals for the start of a new day, a new week, a new month, or even a new year. We're preparing for those things. And so I think that what I'll be doing a lot more, we come to the channel more, but it depends on her schedule. She doesn't have a very easy schedule. I also work during the day. I have Fridays and Saturdays off, which is why I'm able to do the live on Saturday. So while you're seeing all these videos, Gina says she's already taking over. While you're seeing all the videos and everything, it's really, it can be exhausting. And so let's go actually to the article for me to, all what I'm talking about ties in what I wrote about this morning, because I tend to write a lot about what I'm thinking at any particular time. And so I've been thinking a lot about organizing. As a creator, it's easy for most of us to think you can just go with things. Like whether you're writing articles or doing YouTube videos or whatever it is, you just want to do the things. You don't want to do the boring logistics, the planning, the scheduling. And whenever I sit down to write and I have this feeling of I'm not inspired to write, I think of what one of my digital teachers, Ayodeji Awosika, always talks about: don't try to be cute. Especially when you're starting in the beginning, it's easy to want to just create works of art without doing anything. You just jump in. And yeah, I don't want to make this particular segment too long, so I'll just let's go through those 4. I figured out, well, I didn't figure it out. I concentrated 4 ideas that you can use. Does this thing work? Nope. This Voila. So this is my this is the article I wrote today. 4 powerful ways to leverage the new week, month, or year. So I'm still working on this headline. I don't like it. It doesn't sound good. I feel like it's not there yet. I might leave it that way. I might not. I think for writing is a numbers game, especially when you're writing on Medium. You need to test things, try things out, and see what works, what doesn't work. And oh, by the way, leave me a comment. Do you write? Do you have a blog? Do you create content? Let me know what difficulty you have that we can actually even talk about. Maybe I can give some ideas or talk about things that you may want to work on. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. I'm able to see and share all the comments from YouTube and Facebook. In the meantime, I'm not going to read the article. The article is going to I have to work. This is like a first draft, and part of the point on the article is to leave time for things to do. And I know that when I create in the morning, when I write my articles early in the morning, I realize that I cannot keep creating for too long. And also the editing process works best when I'm done creating. And it's usually around midday or towards the end of the day. So one tip that I will give you if you're a creator is to find the times of the day that works best for which part of the creation process in which you are. If you are a morning person, for example, you might want to start creating as soon as you wake up in the morning and write down ideas and write down notes, exercise your idea muscle. If you're a night person, you might want to edit in the morning instead and then create in the evening. But the 4 things that I talk about, they are actually quite linked and they all involve pen and paper. And so the first one is plan. This is this one. So it says plan here, proper preparation prevents poor performance. I know you've probably heard this quote somewhere, and I actually had to find the person who gave the quote. It looks like it's this guy, James Baker, whose granddad was working with some lawyers, and that seemed to be like a mantra that his granddad used to share with his lawyer friends. So his lawyer employees, and that's something that, you already know what this is. But the thing is, I feel like where people or me, I fail with this particular subject is not knowing which particular part of this whole idea of success is mine. We easily just decide like, okay, because this person has this amount of money, or this person is married, or this person is this. I mean, I don't know if you watched the video. I did a video about whether you're wasting your life or not, and that's a feeling that I'm always thinking about, this idea of comparing oneself to other people. So when I talk about planning here for the month or the week or the year, it's about making a plan that maps your definition of success, which means you need to have the self-awareness to know when you're comparing yourself versus when you're setting higher standards. It's 2 different things. And I don't want to elaborate too much on this. You're going to read the article anyway. And if you subscribe to my news channel, to my newsletter, I'll put it somewhere, you're going to see it. But the first one is, this is a big idea for this plan. The idea of a map versus a compass is something that Srini Rao talks a lot in his articles and in his writing. And so the map, if you know what a map is like a drawing, graphs. I've had to use maps a lot since I moved to this country, since I have to use Google Maps. But a map, first of all, as a mental model, the map is not a territory. So the map is only a representation of what it is, right? Cool. You see, Cedric, I keep saying Cedric because I think I see the last part of the name. I don't see well on the screen. Christian Cedric says, totally agree. He writes best between 1 and 3 a.m. Oof, okay, that's rough. Between 1 and 3 a.m. I'm toast. I'm just, I'm dead. But I when you find a time that works for you for each particular thing, do it. And the reason why I'm so excited about this particular article is because I haven't written in almost a month. I was figuring out a plan to increase my income, increase my creativity, really work on projects I wanted. Actually, this, for example, I made this during this month. I don't know if you can see, but I was working on this merch. I wanted to find a way to actually see whether this particular platform works, and it did. And I'm very excited about that. And also, I was able to publish one journal. It's like a notebook on Amazon. If you search me, you'll not find a name. So I've been working on things in the background that I had to put my writing on hold. But these things were able to show me what I'm talking about here, like this whole idea of plan and everything, is because I've been able to test some of these ideas for myself. And I'm lazy. I procrastinate a lot. I have all these great ideas and I never execute them. And I always beat myself up for not executing them. So I had to find a way, like, how do I keep doing this thing over and over? Why do I keep failing with these projects? Why do I keep reading all these amazing articles and then I'm not able to execute on them? And the reason why I say these 4 powerful ways, because they're actually simple. You can take a pen and paper today and start planning. So the idea of a map and a compass is, a compass gives you a general direction, like north, south, west. Do you want to? So a couple of questions that I put here is, do you want to make money online? Do you want to be married to someone you love? Do you want to be able to play with your children when you grow up, right? Those are big goals. Those are directions. Like, here's where I want to be in a few years. And then now, the editable map, because Srini talks only about the compass. I was thinking, yeah, a compass is great, but having a map too can be good. Like having a map that allows you to see what you should be doing for the next week, month, year, 5 years. And it's difficult for somebody like me and other creative people to realize how much we have to build the systems. Like this is not sexy work for most people anyway, not for me. This is not like, oh, this is fun. I'm creating things. I'm writing articles. I'm making videos. I'm editing. It's the logistics, is the numbers, is the okay, I have to go to bed early, or I have to wake up early, or I can't work on these 4 projects at the same time. It's a lot of, I don't even call it sacrifice. It's just coming to terms with your limits. It's fine to have limits and do those things. So the compass gives you the general direction, and then the map gives you what you should be working on. And so I put a video in the article somewhere here that you'll be able to see. It's a video by the author of this book called The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. It's a pretentious title, but an amazing book that I recommend that you read if you can. It will really give you perspective on building businesses and entrepreneurship and all that. It's changed my view on value, changed my view on money, even time, education, a lot of things. So yeah, the 5-10 rule about planning is that, I mean, I cannot believe I've been talking about 1 point ever since. Anyway, point 2 is analyze what doesn't work. What is that? Somebody just messaged me. I thought it was, I get easily distracted. That's why sometimes I should do this thing now where I turn off my phone for like 4 hours at a time to get things done. It's one of those, if you limit, okay, this is going to be a divergent. I mean, this is how the live show is going to be like. I'm hoping you should get questions or comments so I can bounce off ideas with you. If not, I'll just go like this. But anyway, let me put the screen back up here just to be sure that we're talking about the same thing. The 80-20 principle. It has not much to do with this particular article, but it's something that I've used to keep myself distraction free. It's amazing when you start looking at things from that way. 80% of your issues, 80% of your problems come from 20% of the causes, or 80% of your money comes from 20% of your efforts. Like even both successes and failures, 80% of your relationships or the happiness in your life comes from 20% of your relationships. Like almost everything that has input output is linked in this 80-20 rule. And so what I realized is that 80% of my distraction came from this device right here. It's a weird thing. I don't know. It's a weird thing where you realize, if I actually take out this one object, this 1 or 2 things, if I reduce the impact of these 2 things, I could radically improve my productivity. And so what I've been finding a way to hack my brain or find a way to do is I have this app called Your Hour, and I put up these challenges. For some reason, it works for me. Maybe it's because I like video games, but I put these challenges where I cannot use my phone for 4 hours. It's like a challenge, and when you finish, you don't get anything. You just get like challenge completed, challenge 1. But it's helped me a lot. So let's go back to point 2 of the article. And so far, what are you working on for August? Let me know in the comment section. Let's bounce ideas. And next thing we have, I said, analyze what didn't work. I think this one, I also found the original source of the, how's it called? The quote saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Many people think this quote was written by Einstein. It wasn't. It was written by Rita Mae Brown. Actually, she had a character in one of her mystery novels say this about somebody in a book. So, hey, we learn every day. And I was really, I think I like new ideas. I like discovering things I didn't know. So it's one of those things that excite me. When people get excited by maybe, I don't know, drinking or going to the club or playing a new video game, I get excited by finding out things that I should have known that I didn't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe you're just like me. Let me know. And yeah, so right here we have number 2 is analyzing what didn't work. You can't keep doing the same thing every week, every month, every day and hoping for different results. And when I say you, I actually mean us, because that's what I do. Like for the longest time, I did not want to do this. I did not want to make a plan. I honestly was like, yeah, maybe I should just keep doing the same thing and hoping for different results. I know it sounds, I mean, does anybody actually wake up in the morning and say, guess what? I'm going to just ruin my life today, right? I'm going to do all the wrong things. I'm going to fail. I'm going to just speak rudely to people. I'm going to be lacking energy. I'm going to be procrastinating. Like, who wakes up in the morning and then decides that? Maybe some people do. But I think it happens slowly over time and in our subconscious. And there's this idea, I still have to complete that in this article. I don't think I put it. There is this thing. The basic concept is that it's quite almost impossible for us to think about the fact that our future self is actually still us. Like, I think it's something displacement. Is it time? I've forgotten what it's called. But we tend to, when we look at the future and look at, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, or I will be here, maybe I'll finish a degree, or I'll be in this country. We often fail to realize that it's this same person here that is now that will actually be there at the same time. So we postpone things that are important, not knowing that we will still have to pay the price for it. So is I think this idea that actually stops us from delaying gratification. For example, we don't know how to wait, knowing that we would still be the ones to benefit from whatever it is that we are waiting on right now. But that's just a big idea about analyzing what didn't work. Is look at, so far, what have you been working on, what did not work, what is working, and then just look at it. Looking at it can actually allow you to take responsibility. I put a video here by Joko Willing to talk about responsibility and changing things. And when you analyze things that don't work, right, you might want to, 1 second. Yeah, I've been talking for 20 minutes, 26 minutes. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I surprise myself with these skills. How can I talk for 26 minutes? Who does that? Anyway, analyzing what didn't work, it might show you some weaknesses. Like if you can see on the screen, there are weaknesses there, and then you have what's that? Oh, yeah, that was analyzing what didn't work. Point 3 is the Eisenhower matrix. Actually, is searching for your least heavy load. I came up with this term. It doesn't mean anything much, except if you're the kind of person who tends to just carry things and do a lot of things at the same time and then end up not doing any well, you need to find your level of load that allows you to comfortably manage multiple projects. I find it difficult to work on one thing only, but also I find it even harder to work on more than, say, 5 things. So there's that sweet spot between projects where you're working on this thing and you get ideas to work on this other thing, and this other thing excites you to work on this thing, where the projects almost feed off each other and give you this spiral of energy where you're constantly, almost always in place to work. It's like the day, your typical day. For me, for example, I'll start with creating in the morning, maybe editing in the afternoon. Towards evening, I do a lot of things like laundry, dishwashing, packing things. And during that period, funny enough, during that period is when I actually listen to the most of my audiobooks and listen to podcasts. So analyzing what didn't work allows me, or that searching for the least heavy load allows you to find, like, okay, should I be working on a YouTube channel and a blog and a website and a feature film and my relationships? Like, you need to find that spot, and the only way to do it, if you look at point 3, is to figure out what is not working. Like, okay, you thought maybe you could wake up early and write these articles and share on these platforms, but what is not working? What can you be more efficient on? So yeah, and I mentioned here the Eisenhower matrix, which I think maybe not. You see there's a link there that you'll be able to watch and read. And finally, I put something about procrastination, which I'm very, very interested in procrastination because that's something I struggle a lot with. And it's the more I read about this subject, sorry about that, the more I read about this subject and do my own research and explore and see people and hear books and all these things, I realize that the whole idea of, for example, motivation, procrastination, inspiration, all those things, if you can build systems, if you understand them first, understand how it works, how the brain works, how dopamine works, which is not what most people think, you would realize that you can actually trick yourself, not even trick yourself, you can find your sweet spot that allows you to produce good work, be productive and still stay energetic. And Ali Abdal, in the video that I shared here, talks about, let me put this thing back here. He shares something about energy level. That's not about motivation. It's like, going back to the beginning about the whole writing thing, finding out your time that works for you, like what Cedric was talking about here. I keep saying Cedric. Christian Cedric talked about, he writes best between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. How do you find out this? How do you find out what time is good for you? Well, you find out by trying different things. Sometimes maybe you wake up in the morning and see, like, okay, how long can I keep this up? How do I feel about it? You need to be checking with yourself. It's like that level of self-awareness and introspection that I think we all need and we all could make use of. Essentially, you should be able to go through your head and look at your own life and look at what's not working, what is working, and make different decisions. I think it's something that most people don't do. Most people do on other things, or I don't know. I don't know what most people are doing, but for me, what has worked is so far is really looking at, okay, I've been doing this thing for the past 2 months. Is it first, is it even worth it? Second, am I doing this because I'm comparing myself to somebody else, or did I actually do I want this? A lot of the projects I'm working on, things that you probably would see on the board, these are things that I'm working on because I want to. Like the book that I want to publish or the channel. Yeah, I mean, we had Gina coming earlier to say I should bring my wife to the channel because if you watch the previous video, there was a wife tag that I did with my wife that you can watch on the channel. Is still there. And oh, by the way, if you're jumping in and you don't know what is going on here, just ask a question like Kamga, what the hell? Just let me know what's happening and what's going on your end. But my YouTube channel has become this project that even if YouTube was going to shut down today, my goal to create a repository, like a body of work that allows me to test my experiences, share my ideas, interact with people, like it's very important to me as an individual. Yes, I want to success. I want to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. I want to be able to build this platform. Also, I'm not just doing it because other people are doing it, because when I started comparing myself to people and watching other people who show up a month before or after me and then blow up, when I say blow up, I don't mean like, how's this lady's name who was in the bus with the snake and something that I forgot the name. But there are people who show up, do similar content to mine, and they're pretty consistent and good. And funny thing about comparison is we compare ourselves to the wrong things. We don't compare ourselves to how hard people are working. We're like, oh my God, that guy's working so hard. I'm going to work as hard as him. Or I wish I could work as hard as him. It's more like they're getting the rewards. We compare our rewards with their rewards. And so we miss the point completely of, but they did the work. Are you doing the work? No, they do the work. Anyway, point I'm trying to make about this whole point is she said she wasn't watching me for some time. Then she my wife and came back. That's something that I probably need to figure out. Like my goal with the YouTube channel, which is morphing and changing and evolving, is the people that I look up to on YouTube are there's Matt Diavela, there's Nathaniel Drew, there's Better Ideas, and then you also have people like Jake Tran and James Jani, which is, and you can also add a nerd writer in that group, which is like essay formats, well researched, well written, well narrated with amazing visual attachments. And then you have people like the Matt Diavelas and Better Ideas and Captain Sinbad. So it's like there are two classes of people that I gravitate a lot towards. People who do a lot of research in what they're doing and speak not just with expertise, but with a personal take. Like they've tried these things themselves. They're using these ideas I talk about in their own lives. You can see it. They're improving physically. The quality of their content is improving. And then you have other people like Nerdwriter and all that who give you such an experience with video that you feel lost. Like when I watched James Jani last video or whatever, most of his videos on like university and all that, not only do you learn a lot about entrepreneurship on his videos, but you also appreciate a lot of, let me just share what Christian Cedric said because it ties in what I'm saying. So that's the main word, introspection. We need to know what we want, what are really our forces, which circumstances increase our productivity, and so on. And no pressure. Comparing is worse. 100%. I think comparing is good when we're being objective, and when we're being like, okay, this person has these tools that I don't have, and then looking at is the reward. I'm missing my words. Is his success or her success dependent on these tools? And more often than not, the answer is no. Because people who have these tools that we think is the reason why they are winning on maybe YouTube or blogging or whatever, a lot of them, if you strip it down, if you introspect enough and come to the bottom, you realize like they just did the work. And it's one of my personal mantras now about looking at life and just moving forward with this whole creation journey and documenting the process and sharing with you what I'm finding out is people are working. If you want to compare yourself to somebody, compare yourself with how much work they put in. If you want to get something, work for it. And it might sound very harsh for people who don't get where I'm coming from, because a lot of what I write on the internet, one thing that I must say is that I write to myself. Yeah, I write to you, and it would be very selfish and stingy to just write to myself. It's more like I wish somebody had told me these things, or somebody was telling me these things. Like when I'm feeling lazy, I wish somebody would say, manage your energies. Or when I'm comparing myself, somebody would say, stop comparing yourself to people. Or when I'm feeling like, oh man, I wish I had these things. Like, do you deserve it? Are you the kind of person who deserves this thing? And so I'm having a lot of these conversations in my mind about, my goals and my journey. And that's why this whole article came up, because I was thinking, okay, where do I want to be? Like, what am I doing? How can I move my goals forward? And I came up with these 4 ideas because it's something that I've been doing. I've been trying to figure out, writing things down. I always take notes. I have like a stack of notepads. Let me show you here. I have a stack of notepads. I'm always like, it's four, is it 4x4? I don't know, 4x6, whatever this is. Where I take notes, I'm always writing notes and I have a stack of them. And these are, for example, one change that I had to make when it comes to my reading is I realized like I read all these books and I'm always reading at least like 8 to 9 books. And it's a good idea to just read the books that you like. That's perfectly fine. The problem now is I have things I need to sort out, like business skills that I need to gain, design skills that I need to gain, the kind of mindset I need to gain to move forward. But I'm not focusing on those things. So I decided to take these books and say, you know what? I'm going to take books that will solve a problem that I have and focus on these problems until I can solve them. And I can also read all this in August. And I'm not strictly bound by the book saying I'll read only these books, but putting them here gives me a visual reminder of yes, you have a choice of the books to read. However, you're better off taking a book in this particular stack that will help you towards those goals. And I'm always looking for tricks to get myself to do better. Like it's one of those things I'll probably just keep improving for the rest of my life till I die. And I mean, if you hear me talk, you know that it's not I'm addicted to self-improvement. It's more of the way my life has been, the failures I've had, my own personal journey. I've had to depend on concepts and ideas from people who fall in the line of self-improvement, which is what can you actually do at your level, not your parents, not the government, not your friends. Like, what can you do? And when you turn that question and ask yourself, you realize that you can do a lot more. But it's not a motivational speech. So let's carry on with the article. And I'm looking forward to talking about the anime anyway. And so the last part of the article was, let me switch this here. That's what the article was that. Use the end of the day to review. This part is something that I picked up yesterday. I was watching the Umbrella Academy. So let's talk about this Umbrella Academy at some point. I was watching Umbrella Academy and I eventually slept because yesterday was Friday. I spent the whole day. So first I went to register my car. I don't know if you watched the video, but I had a car accident in May. So we got a new car and I had to schedule time to register it. So I did that. And then so register the car and then I had to do a lab test. So I had to call the hospital, get a lab order, go and do the lab test. And mind you, one thing that you don't know about me is that ever since I got my car accident, right? Ray says the end of an exceptionally crappy year already. Well, I have a different perspective on that, but I'll talk about it later on. So I had to go register the car, do my lab test, and came back home, started working on my design. I don't know if if you're on YouTube, you probably notice. If you're on Facebook, you see I changed my cover for my artwork for YouTube and Facebook. And it took me the whole day to do that thing. And I got myself a drawing tablet to do something. So I was able to do that. And my drawing still sucks. So I spent about from 10 a.m., 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I spent about 8 hours straight figuring out how to draw this thing, how to design it. And then I end up getting this block on Google Chrome, not allowing my image to update. When I eventually updated that image and I looked at the cover art, and I was like, this thing sucks. I was done with it. I was like, you know what? I'm not, je ne peux plus. I'm done with this thing for today. It wasn't for the rest of my life. And so I watched the last 2 episodes of Hanna, the show on Amazon Prime. And then I also started watching, when I finished watching Hanna and I was crying, like, oh my God, can't wait for season 3. I don't know if anybody is watching Hanna or hasn't watched Hanna, let me know. And yeah. So the end of the day review last night was really me looking at what have I done today. I did my cover art. I was able to do that. And also I had 2 goals. When I finished doing my plan for this, from August to November, I had 2 main goals. The first one was to find my typography for my designs, like get my type that will work, which I did. I found cool type. I had to go through, follow and watch Chris Do. Hanna is not an anime, actually. It's a show on Amazon Prime, and it's actually spelled. Let me just type this here. Hanna. Yeah, Hanna. Let me see if I can find the image. I'll share my screen eventually with this whole situation here. Let me see. So stop this. But yeah, Hanna is not. Hanna's is an Amazon Prime. It says this is American drama series and live action series. So it's not anime. Nope, it's not. But the point I was trying to make about the whole review thing was, at the end of the day, you get a chance to figure out what you did on that day that you're proud of, to give yourself a pat on the back. And then if you don't have a pat on the back to give yourself, I think this is where the opportunity is. Okay. The military, but a lot of storytelling imagine anime. I don't know. I don't know. Let me just conclude this last part on this whole article and then move to anime and actually move to Hanna. We'll talk about Hanna first, Raymond. We will talk about Hanna. But I think with the last point about this article that I was trying to share with you today, the last idea was that no, doesn't want me to share the screen anymore. Hey, by the way, if you just joined us and you haven't yet, could you please share this video with your audience and then also like it and maybe leave a comment so I know where you're watching from and also whether I'm speaking too fast or if I'm boring you or what you'd like to find out. Just let me know. Let me know you're live. Let me know you're here. Let me know. Raymond is already having a conversation about Hanna, so I'm going to jump into Hanna very soon and talk about Hanna and Umbrella Academy. And what I wanted to show is the last part of this my article, the draft, the first draft that I wrote that I'll be editing today is I know where you're watching from. Yes, Ray, I know you're watching from Aurora, actually Denver. Yep. And Alex was watching from Cameroon. Gina, where are you watching from? You haven't even said anything yet. But anyway, so the point here is the last thing. So first, drawing a roadmap based on where we are and where we can go. Second, being impartial, what leads us, what led us there in the first place. This is what Cedric was talking about. Christian Cedric was talking about introspection. Like you need to know where you want to go, what you want to do, and why you're doing it. Taking arbitrary measures of success based on some article or some Google search or Amazon reviews, I think only brings you pain. I feel like people, if you knew what you wanted, or at least if you decided what you wanted, then you find yourself working on it for you, not so they can say, oh, I got it. Can you see? Because I think that's the problem. We want people to see that we've gotten what we want. BT dubs, I never mentioned. By the way, I never mentioned before that Cameroon is awesome. Well, I think every country is awesome, and I'm being politically correct here. It's Cameroonians may not agree with you. Some would agree. It's a mixed feeling. I think first of all, we don't choose where we're born. That's one thing that we cannot. You can't choose where you're born. You can't choose your family. People say, babies choose your parents. I'm sure there are theories and ideas about that, which I'm not versed with and I cannot bring up. But I don't think you have a choice of your country. You can choose your nationality later on. And it's one of those limiting factors or powerful factors that expresses privilege. Like people who are born in the US have no idea what privilege they have when they are born. And then even in that level, Ray, so I don't know. I think it doesn't matter. That's my take on this whole idea of countries and Cameroon and nations. I think it doesn't matter because personally, I can't change the US. I don't even want to. I mean, it's not like there's a button somewhere that you're going to change and then you're going to press and then people are suddenly going to be changed and become, I don't know, different. And I don't believe in fighting battles that are lost. I can write, I can make my YouTube videos, I can work on publishing my books, I can go live and share my ideas. I cannot change the politics of a country. I cannot change the history of a country. I cannot even change my own history. I mean, I cannot go back in time, basically. So you might think Cameroon is awesome because you're in the US and the perspective you're getting is different. But until you've lived there and experienced it, and even if you lived there and experienced it, you'll be experiencing from your perspective as somebody who was born in the US, not as a Cameroonian was born in Cameroon. So I think there's a lot of privilege that we go unchecked. Like people say, check your privilege. I was listening to this book recently. I was listening to this book. I'm going to talk about this. Who else has watched Hanna, by the way? Just while we're talking. White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, and also I just finished listening to So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluwo, which I think you should read. I think the concept of checking your privilege is something that when I was listening to the book, the white privilege is actually written for white people. But I was reading the book and listening to the book, and I was thinking, what do I actually know about racism? I don't think I know much about racism. The movie? What movie? I don't know. Does So You Want to Talk About Race have a movie? I think there's anyway, I don't know. So, what movie is that, Ray? You say you've watched the movie. So, what I'm trying to say is the idea of the US being less awesome every day or Cameroon being awesome. Hanna? Oh, well, yeah, I think I know there's a movie, but I haven't watched the movie. I watched a show on Amazon Prime. I'm going to put that up here in a bit. Let me see. Hanna, Google search. So TV series. Let me see if I can find that here. Let me share that now. Oh, look at that. I am live on YouTube. Let me close that since it's working. I want to share this guy. Let's change that share screen. All right. Let us remove that. Let's edit the name. Oh no. Yes, that's cool. I didn't read much about the show. I want to talk about the show on Amazon Prime because I think every piece of art is different. And I haven't watched the movie. It's like, oh, good. This is a good example. I was asking my wife was telling me today this morning about something that happened at work, and I was asking her, "Do you know who Fred Rogers is?" And she was like, "Tom Hanks." And that moment, I was like, "Huh." You watch, there's a movie by Tom Hanks about the beautiful. It's a day. I think it's a day in the beautiful neighborhood, which I watch and I like. And an actor does such a great job of a movie that you forget that actually the whole movie is based on a story on a different person. And essentially, I think that's what happens with everything, shows, movies. We never go to the source. So for me, I watched the show and I liked it. I really did. I think it's a show that grows on you. I don't know if anybody else is watching Hanna or who wants to watch Hanna. It's on Amazon Prime, which also tells me about my privilege as being here in the US and be able to go on Amazon Prime and watch a movie. It's like so much privilege. Privilege is. I think if we actually ever took the time to think about what we have, the advantages that we have that other people don't have and that they have no reason to not have. I don't know if that makes sense, but thinking about your privilege can put you in a position where you can start feeling a lot more empathy for others and feel a lot more comfortable. You don't have Amazon Prime. Yeah, you could if you wanted to. I think. I don't know. You probably have something else. Yeah, I mean, you have internet access. You have a phone or a computer. You have probably food to eat, home to stay. I think there's a lot of things that we take for granted, generally speaking, whether we're in Cameroon or the US. It's pretty big. I've been able to live in those two countries, and this show is going to be about anime. So let's talk about anime. The day we'll talk about privilege and culture and politics, unless you have a specific question or something you want to talk about, because my views on a lot of things have become, as time goes on and I get older, they become a lot more based on my personal experience, not what I've read, not what people are telling me on the internet, which is great. But I think I'm seeing a lot of the things in my life that I've taken for granted just because I'm existing. And so when you said, I'm worried that the coronavirus battle is lost, so do we all just die then? And yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a researcher. I am staying at home. I'm keeping to the regulations of wearing a mask. I am trying to be safe. And if I have to die, then I will. I don't have anything else to say. Yep. So let's talk about Hanna. Let's find Hanna. We have a few minutes left. Actually, like 9 minutes left. Oh no, 12, I think. Apart from privilege, I just can't watch Hanna. Okay. Well, all right. Cool. Cool. I honestly don't understand what you mean. Like, you can't watch it because you don't want to watch it, because you don't have to watch it. I just want to talk about it because I watched it and I thought it was cool. And there are gazillions of shows on the internet that I'm sure you've watched. And I think you've watched like the anime Star Trek or something. So I haven't watched that too. And yeah. So we finished talking about the article. Let me stop sharing this. And then I'll talk about Hanna. Actually, I'll just, a brief rant about Hanna. I started watching Hanna because I saw the ad for season 2. I don't have Amazon Prime, but it looks interesting. Yeah. It is. It does look interesting. I would not force anybody to watch it. Ray says he doesn't have Amazon Prime and it looks interesting. Yeah. I nobody recommended it to me. That's something that I started doing a lot more with when it comes to books and shows and many things. I try to base my recommendations on a set of like systems so that I can easily sieve through things that I don't like. Because personally, I think there's just too much content. Secondly, I think people who consume content don't create content as much as they should. And people who actually win in this quote unquote world are those who create more. If you create more value, you get more value. It's just simple. So if you spend time consuming, which is something that I'm trying not to do, you don't create. Anytime that you spend consuming is time that you're spending on creating. And I think, I don't know if you're religious or spiritual, but if we were made in God's image, which I think we were, or if this is a simulation and God is watching us and just pointing out that, then it means the whole idea of going and conquering the world, which is what he said, or somebody will say she said, it's not about to become a feminist show, is you have to do your thing and make things. I think it's just something that we're called to do. Ray, you're a writer. You do poetry. People might think that they're not creative or something. And yeah, Jordan Peterson will say people, creative people to be highly intellectual and be able to dabble some of these ideas require to have a certain level of intellect, which to some extent is true. But I think even if you look at the way families are built, the way you do your job, and the way you make things, I don't know, but I think we enjoy making things. I think it's part of who we are to just make things, whether it's articles, stories, poetry, t-shirts, groups, community. We are sort of called to make things, and I think that's a cool thing. So I'm trying to make more. And Hanna is one of those things that got me thinking about stories and how the world. Because one thing that got me, up to season 2 of Hanna is that it's not exactly an overwhelming show where there's like anti-climaxes and climaxes, and it's a very, I think, like I say, it's a drama series. So there's a lot of pain, I guess, sadness, and convincing people to do things that is important for them. And so when I was watching the show throughout season 1, getting used to the characters and falling in love with the characters, I was thinking about how people write characters in a way that relate to you, even though you have just, you have, say, the first episode, you have like 48 minutes or 52 minutes to get people to fall in love with the character. How do you do that? And just a quick fire point, since we're about to, right? Yeah, Mark, I agree with you. There's an ebb and flow to everything we consume, and then we must also output. Kind of a natural cycle for everything. I agree. I agree with nearly everything you say for now. But I think we need to be able to do things and make things. I personally find it really enjoyable, but must also consume to have things to output. You know, this is where we'll disagree a little bit, because I think the problem with the world in which we are today, which from my perspective is that there's too much input. There's so much input that it's easy to get confused between inputs that are other people's inputs and our own input. And without that kind of introspection, which is what I talk about and said, Christian Cedric agrees with, mentioned earlier, I think we don't spend enough time to actually think about our own things. For not just for the sake of creation and making YouTube videos and writing articles, like just sit and think about, like, okay, what do I actually think about the universe? Which is like a big question that probably would get you to start having anxiety and having existential dread. Or what do I think about phones? Do I think a phone is, an iPhone is cool because Steve Jobs was, implied by design? Like, if I take my phone, do I actually like this? Like, why do I like it? Or do I hate it? Or does it mean nothing to me? So a lot of, I think by default we have more producers, more consumers than producers. It's something that, for me, look at how many books I have. Like, this. Somebody would say this is too much. I would still justify and say, no, but I need to learn. I'm enjoying it. This is something that I like to do. And I would be right. I do like my books. I will keep buying books. I'm not going to stop consuming books. But if at a certain point I don't question, like, okay, why am I not writing my own books? Then there's a problem. That's the way I see it. It's like watching videos on YouTube. I could watch videos all day, every day, and enjoy all these people that I call, like Nomadi Avelas and Nathaniel Drew and all that. But at some point, I need to, like, okay, all right, maybe I should make my own videos. Yeah. So Mark says, definitely, I completely agree with that. I have to be selective about what inputs I take in. I have to limit my consumption to very specific things in order to be efficient. Yeah, I agree. Balance, balance. And the article that I started talking about at the beginning of the live, which I'll be publishing sometime today, is about making those plans to find your way around this whole journey, and making things that are yours. I think everybody has something that is theirs, that the world needs them to make. And Ray, I don't know if you're watching, but I think your poetry is really good, and I think you should make more of it. And I feel like with everything that's going on in the world, we all need somebody to just be positive. It's yeah, We need something to be positive. We need something that will give us some hope. I'm thinking about things that I'm not working on in my life, and they're there. I mean, nobody has a perfect life. I don't think anybody who posts on Instagram or shares on Facebook has a good life. People who have died, people who've lost jobs, people who are struggling to stay in the house because they just have a difficulty staying in one place. Like, I can feel my back hurting because I sit on the chair all day for my job and just for editing and all that. Like, and this is minor compared to somebody who maybe has no legs or no arms, or not that they were not born with them. You know, they are used to people who actually lost them in war or accidents. Like, dude, I don't know anything about Fauci, Ray, and I don't even watch these people. Like, I don't I don't care. Like, I don't care about, honestly, Ray. This is like my own opinion about a lot of these authorities and these people. Is personally, I do not care about what they say insofar as it's not affecting me directly. I'm going to wear my mask. People will talk about, I mean, it's an airborne disease. A mask would help. This is logic for me. I'm going to stay home. My company, I've been blessed and lucky that my company wants allows me to work from home. I don't care. Like, they could say all what they want to say. I will stay here. I will lock myself up and I'll eat yogurt for the rest of the next decade. And I will keep writing and making videos. I honestly don't care about what happens. Well, maybe that sounds a little bit harsh, but honestly, if this were going to be the rest of our world, right, from now on, I'll be completely fine. I'll keep making videos. I'll keep connecting with people. I'm going to be completely fine. So, yeah, Mark says, but I find that I get creators block if I'm not consuming what inspired me in the first place. 100%, bro. 100%. I think it's important to find that your thing. There are two videos by Casey Neistat that I tend to watch. Like, there are some key moments that those videos really spark me up. There's, I don't know if you watch Do More, and then I've forgotten the other video. Both of them are ads for Nike. The Do More is the second video, I think. The first video, I can't believe I've forgotten that video. Let me see if I can find it right here real quick. Let me see here. But yeah, so Ray, I don't consume the news. I don't watch news. I on Twitter, I nice. On Twitter, I'm in money Twitter. I read about making money, growing an income. Yeah, right. Mark says he watches the video. Let me actually share the video with you guys. I mean, I can't share it probably for copyright. The last time I did I tried to share my screen here. A huge segment of my video was had a copyright infringement thing. I was like, yeah, I'm not sharing any videos anymore. I don't want to deal with that. Casey pretty much gave me the push I needed to start and keep up with YouTube. So, Mark, I think the reason why we resonate so much is because we're on the same wavelength of we want to build the kind of lives that we want, and we know that nobody's going to come and give it to us, whether it's for our families, the people that we love, our friends, or for our own mental health. I really think. Oh, Cheryl is here. Awesome. Let me finish something we're saying with Mark, and then I'll read Cheryl's comment. I think that there are many things that are wrong in the world. Upfront, things are bad, health reasons, problems, and all that. Like, for me, I've had 3 surgeries since I was a child. A lot of the consequences of those surgeries are catching up with me that I'm getting older. I moved to this country 2 years ago. I have never left Cameroon before I came here. I had to understand what racism was. I didn't even know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the idea, educating myself on it. I had to get a job that didn't match with my skills. I had to learn skills that would help me move my goals. So there's a lot of things that suck overall. You know, there are things that are working that are just not good. But the way I'm looking at things, and Mark, the reason why I think we're saying the same is because when I watch your videos, Mark, I see that you're going through things and you don't let those things pull you down. I remember the time you're doing the videos where I think you're working and helping, you're building things in the shop, you know, before the coronavirus, when you were going out and doing things and you're doing your daily lives and you're growing your audience and you're being authentic. Like, there's just so much that we can do that I find it difficult to focus only on what is not working. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, let me Cheryl, I am so happy to see. I don't know if you can see that I'm excited, but Cheryl sent me a message a couple of months ago. I was going through a YouTube slump, and Cheryl made a video talking about the video that I had made. And Mark, you talk about consumption and positive energy and all that. This was one of those videos, and there've been a couple of them. There's been comments that people have sent. There's been messages. There's been emails. People like Dwayne, and I'm sure if Dwayne was available, Dwayne will probably be here commenting as well. Living on a book, Bold Books and Bones. There are people who have never met, people who we've connected through these platforms, But as a creator, as a creative, it's the people who give me those words and say things that really, really help me move forward in my direction. I cannot say that this whole journey has been fun and fluffy and this is great. It's like there are people who show up and who say things that push the needle forward, who give me that, not even a kick, it's more of that gentle, hey, it's going to be okay. Just keep going. So Cheryl says, Cheryl is one of those people. That's what I wanted to say. Cheryl says, I feel more motivated and accomplished when I complete a challenge that I put out for myself, whether that was a video a week or the video challenge I completed in July, and it's an awesome feeling. Yes, 100%. Yesterday, when I was talking about earlier in the live, yesterday when I was able to leave and go and watch Hanna and watch Umbrella Academy, the reason why I was able to do that is because I spent the whole day. I registered my car, I did my lab test, I designed found my themes. I made my color palette for my designs now. I did a lot of things yesterday. And so by the end of the day, when I was dissatisfied with the result of what I was working on, I was like, screw this. I'm off. And it wasn't a thing of I'm giving up or I'm stopping my ideas. I'm not going to work on this. It's more like I have done enough today to know that I've moved the needle forward and I'm going to go watch TV and I don't care what anybody thinks about me. So I did that. And that motivation, that challenge, being able to complete something, I mean, Cheryl was able to make videos, one video a day for the whole month of July. I think, yeah, I don't think I can do that. I've thought about doing it. I thought about going live every day. I can't. So, yeah. And we're almost wrapping up actually. Oh, it's past the 1 hour. I've even talked about the God of Highschool. The God of Highschool, I don't know who else here is watching anime. I know Mark watches anime. I don't know if Mark, have you watched the God of Highschool or not? It's new. It's on Crunchyroll. Ray, if you want to watch it, sorry, I think it's on Crunchyroll and Verve, vrv.co. And on Verve, you can watch for free with ads, which my wife and I started watching anime and we were watching JoJo. Yeah, that was watching Bizarre Adventures of JoJo. And I was enjoying JoJo when then you get to this climax of a scene and then you see an ad. And then you see an ad. I was like, you know what? No, we better put the $10 a month. That's just too much inconvenience for my life at this point. So yeah. Mark says sometimes the positivity and motivation is the easy part. Sometimes it's knowing where to aim and how to direct it moving forward with a singular focus. 100%, man. I don't know if you're watching the first part of the stream, but I was going through an article that I wrote about planning for the month, planning for the new year, right? Planning for the week, the year, the day, and I was looking at those practical things like this right here. I'm so proud of this wall, this whiteboard. You have no idea. So I'll do this, and then I'll take a picture or take down notes, and then move to the next step. So I'm actually strategizing from August to November because I want to keep December for strategizing for the whole of next year. So yeah, positivity, motivation, you can find it online. It's taking action, and I think that's where the whole idea of oh, okay, Cheryl, I'm going to come down to that. Yeah, I think finding. So one of the videos that I shared in the article, which I think I'll put a link here. Let me just put a link here real quick, so maybe it can help you out with the idea of procrastination. For me, it worked. It really got me thinking like, oh, maybe this is why I don't do the things that I'm supposed to be doing because I don't consider that some things are done better at certain times for me. So let me share that video if I can get it right here real quick. It's a video by Ali Abdal, another self-improvement YouTuber that I enjoy. Yeah, just getting started, right? It sounds like Gary V. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I find some of this, find positivity at the point where I just give up. Ray, here's what I'll say before going up today. You find positivity by looking for it. Like, I know it sounds simple and stupid, but the reason why I don't watch news is because there's no positivity on news. Simple. The reason why I unfollow people on social media is because they're not giving me positivity. I ruthlessly clean up my feed, Twitter, social media, Facebook, everything. I don't watch TV. If I see a movie that I don't like, I stop watching it. That's it. It's not that I'm trying to there's too much good content to be found in the world that I would not allow myself to be drawn to negativity. So like Mark is saying that it's easy to find positivity because you go looking for it. If I see an article on the internet that I don't like, I'm not reading the article. Simple. If I start reading a book and discover that the book is going against my values or the book is going against the way I see it, I am not consuming it. So no, Ray, I think the reason why you might be feeling these feelings of negativity is because the content you're consuming might be triggering you. And the simplest thing and the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stop consuming that content. I don't have anything else out of there's no strategy, there's no mental mindset game. It's really stop consuming content that makes you feel bad. When you feel a particular way, right? Yeah. Mark says it's not easy to feel positive. I agree, man. 100%. That's why I read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That's why I read a lot of philosophy. That's why I watch a lot of content that has to do with hard times. People like Jordan Peterson. Like I prepare myself for those times because they will come. The past 4 months of my life, dude. I mean, the past 2 years already, just moving to the US, that's been a lot. The past 4 months, I've had to deal with my own identity and wonder, like, what kind of person am I? What kind of man? Forget even what kind of man. Like, if I call myself a man, what does that mean? Like, what does it really mean? And come to my own identity definition of that. And something from another video anyway. But I feel you when you say that positivity cannot. I completely feel you. I feel like you said, is that balance of finding that that mid ground or something. Yeah. Yep. So let me go up back to Cheryl. Yeah. So sometimes positivity motivation is the easy part. Is knowing where to aim and how to direct it moving forward with a singular focus. I'll say take it day by day, bro. Like there's a video that I put a link in the article about the 1, 5, 10, the 10-year plan, the 5-year plan, the 1-year plan, and then being able to see like, okay, this is where I want to be in 10 years, where I want to be in 5, where I want to be in 1. What can I do this month to move there? And appreciating that it will take time. And also, there's something that works for me is appreciating that in 100 years, nobody's going to care. I mean, for some people, it might push you to an extreme, thinking about things in a very dangerous way, I feel. But then for me, it removes, I feel less stress knowing that a lot of what I call mistakes or, terrible errors I'm making right now, in 100 years, nobody's going to care. But Mark says, I haven't seen it yet. Been on hiatus for anime for a bit. We do catch up for a while. Nice, yeah. So the way I watch my anime, I watch a lot of them on Saturdays because I've been watching Black Clover. For some reason, they don't put up. I think they put up episodes now every once a month or something. I don't know. But there's Fire Force that I'm watching. And last time I talked about it here. There is Black Clover. There's I'm watching Fist of the North Star. I know, old school. Fist of the North Star and Great Teacher Onizuka, which, by the way, I think is an amazing show to watch for, I don't say boys, for men, for everybody, about living a life that you're proud of. It's a weird show with a weird character. I don't know if you've watched. If you watch a GT or Great Teacher Onizuka, let me know. But I think it's a very powerful show that shows you what somebody who has his own personal set of values looks like. What somebody who doesn't. One example one thing is whenever Onizuka is in trouble, say somebody accuses him of something or somebody, he's falsely accused of something. I've never seen him try to explain himself, try to justify the actions. But for some reason, the people who committed the crime or the situation somehow, I mean, it's a fictional story, somehow end up showing that he was right all along. It's like he doesn't fight to prove his point. He just lives by his values and eventually the truth catches up. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, Cheryl said earlier, oh, let me put this here. Finding a niche for me is hard. So my videos for now are random. That's until I find what clicks for me. I know the struggle. I actually had a paid consultation with my friend Eric, which I think if you can afford it, you should. Eric talked to me about a bunch of things. I started figuring out drawing plans and his videos too on this channel. I don't know if you're on YouTube and you want to grow your channel, I would highly recommend watching Eric's channel. He has some amazing playlists for new content creators about niching down, finding your personality, finding your style, and all those good things. And I think you should watch it. So Cheryl, if you haven't yet, check out Eric Wen. That would write E-R-I-C-K. Sorry, E-R, right? I can't even spell it today. E-R-I-C, last name W-E-N, Wen. And he has playlists on creating content and basically for YouTube, the mindset involved. I think he has a group called Think More Deeply on Facebook that has some really supportive, positive content on content creation. So for the niche, I would say watch Eric. For me, I've been finding a niche for as long as I can. And I don't think I've given up. It's more like I'm trying to make it come up organically as I create more content and see what works, So I don't try to be random. I have like 3 things. I'm doing things about making things on the internet, creativity. I know now my mind is a lot more towards wealth creation. So that creativity ties to using your skills to make money. Second thing is personal development. If you hear me talk, you know that I'm all about improvement and growth and all that. And the last part, which has been another key important part of my life is relationships, which is with my wife. That's why you see videos of me and my wife on the channel. You see me talking about, getting married or not getting married. So those are three things that I talk about, but I still wish I could find, one thing. And I have found something similar, which is on the pursuit of life of meaning and connection, which is meaning is the whole living a life that you're proud of, a life that you want. And then connection is about relationships, but I'm still figuring that out. So I think you should watch Eric Wen Cheryl. I think you're going to enjoy the content. So let's see here. Yeah, Mark says he too is all over the place. I don't think so, Mark. I think you personally, I know you for two things. I know you're I think it's gaming and personal improvement. Like that's the way I see your channel. I see that you show up, you play games, you talk about. I know you're doing some commentary now, you're trying things, which is great. You never know where that's going to lead. But I know that you talk to your community a lot about being grounded and growing and making the effort. And I think that's cool. So you might think you don't have a niche, but maybe you do. Just just do enough and you find it out eventually. And Cheryl says, just getting started. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I agree. I think I responded to this. Ray, find your positivity. Cut off anything that just triggers you. I honestly, yeah. Yep. Oh, we have some cool comments coming up. So I just wrote a new channel. So Mark says, but I literally wrote a new channel description just before joining this. Think I know where I'm going to change it. Yes, I'm looking forward to that, Mark. I will check it out. Sometimes it's not always easy to be positive though. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's the best answer about being positive. You have to surround yourself in it and actively try to stay out of negativity, man. Gary V, if there's one thing that I appreciate Gary V for is saying all the time is, make positivity louder. You would hear me talking about the coronavirus, but always with the tint of here's what you can do. You will hear me talking about my health issues with things of here's what I'm looking at. You hear me talk about my even my relationship with my wife. It's not all perfect. Like the last video I put up here, it was like, oh, we are the best couple. We're an amazing dynamic. She knows me so well. But the truth is that every couple has issues. It's just, first of all, logically, it doesn't make sense for me to be filming an argument. Like, who would come to YouTube to watch two couples argue live? It doesn't. Where are your ethics? But anyway, so yeah, I think stay out of negativity. I agree with that. Yes. Ray, GTO. I love GTO, man. I love GTO. Oh, I think I love Imalet. Who is this? Oh man, I think I know you. I just don't know the name. Anyway, should we really stop watching shows that make us feel bad about? What about being challenged? Isn't it harmful to be so afraid of contradictions or discomfort? So many questions. Sorry. No, please. I love questions. And I'm going to probably extend this live today. This is already getting past the hour that I was hoping to get, but I'm enjoying this because you are enjoying it and I like it. So please stay on. When I watch Hanna went through so much difficulty that and making so many terrible choices. I don't think it's bad to watch shows that make you feel bad. The thing is, when you're building, forget even about building. As a human being, like with Ray, right? Ray talks about how content on the internet is making me feel terrible. A show that makes you feel bad, does it make you feel bad temporarily for character, or does it make you feel bad for your life? That's where I'll ask, like, does it make you feel bad as a human being, like, oh, the world sucks and everything is terrible and I think I should just end it? Or does it give you perspective on, wow, I can't believe how much I actually have that I could. So I guess bottom line, it depends on, I don't think it depends on the show. I don't think it depends on the movie itself. I think it depends on your perspective of the content. Because if you're able to take in this quote unquote bad content and make the perspective to look like, wow, there are people who are living in such abject pain and poverty and terrible lives, and I'm here and I have all these cool things. Maybe I can do something with my life. Maybe I can help them. Or maybe I can just be more grateful for what I have. Like, I don't think it's about the shows. I don't think the problem is the shows themselves. I think the problem is what we do with the content. That's what I think. So you can ask more questions. Yeah, Onizuka is such a cultural gem and City Hunter, dude. So I watched anime as a child in French on manga. It was a French channel in Cameroon, so we didn't have internet. I mean, couldn't afford internet and computers. My younger brother and I started doing computer classes sometime around 2000. Let me see, around 2000, probably 2003. I don't know. But anyway, that's when we had access to computers and everything. So City Hunter, I used to watch City Hunter with Nicky Larson, and I watched it in French. So yeah, it felt it was different. I haven't watched it recently because for the same reason why I don't watch Dragon Ball in original Japanese. It's like my brain is stuck in the French, and Goku just sounds very weird when he speaks Japanese. So yeah, I don't know, but City Hunter is awesome. Oh yes, Cheryl says she subscribe to Eric. I think if you're a YouTube creator, or I think if you're a creator as a whole, you should watch Eric. Eric has some pretty cool things. Well, if someone is trying not to get sick, you should take precautions. Same way, if you're trying to stay out of depression and negativity, you need to stay out of it as well. Mark, you're just you dude, you're speaking the words that I wish I could say. In Cameroon, in the beginning of the channel, when I was doing the live show, the weekend debate, I was doing a lot of conversations with. I did some conversation with a mental health advocate. We talk about toxic masculinity and all that because there are not many structures in Cameroon to help people deal with mental health. There are right now, like 2020, but there weren't. So I can look at times in my life where I'm almost 100% certain that I was going through a depressive episode, but I didn't even know. I didn't have the tools to deal with it. What saved me? The reason why you see me reading so much is these things. Books saved me. Jesus too, because I think he's awesome. And I we need to find our ways to work with these things and just keep them out. Oh, Terrano is here. Make positivity last. Yes. So we need to find our way to remove these effects. Like people, there could be people in your life, and this is one thing that Gary Vee says that I take to heart is there could be people in your life, in your family, who make your life miserable by the way they interact with you. You cannot cut those people off, but you can limit the content, you can limit the interaction, you can know, okay, this holiday is going to last 1 week. For this 1 week, I'm just going to hold on to my sanity, and then after that, it will be done. Like anticipating that exit, I feel helps. And so whether it's people on social media, whether it's friends, whether it's family, I cherish my mental health and my happiness so much first, because the happier I am, the more happiness I can bring to the people I love. So I cannot allow anybody else to take my happiness. It's a very personal fight. I'm not going to let you bring me down, because people need me to lift them up. So if you lift me up, we lift each other up. If you're bringing me down and you don't want to be lifted up, I will drop you off. Life is short. I'm not going to waste it trying to convince people who've already been convinced. So what I can do is live my life in a way that you can watch and say, well, maybe I can join you. So yeah, I don't see it as being afraid. It's understanding what your psyche needs in order to operate efficiently. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Know yourself. Personal, like the self. Yes, we do, Cheryl. Yes, we do. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. We all need peace in our life, especially now. We need peace, happiness, and joy, and all the cool things. And we will die. Like, I know when I talk about creation and writing and all these self improvement things, like I'm thinking I'm going to live forever. And I think we tend to think that we'll live forever, but we don't. Eventually, we will get old, this body will break down, and then we will die. So between now and then, what we do is up to us, right? It's who we touch, how we spend our time, who we love, what we do. There's just so much to do that I feel excited about life. I know the virus is making it, but I feel personally very excited about things, Yeah. So here, Max says, I'm so glad you're able to put those themes for my content. Thanks, man. It makes me feel better about it. Yes, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Mark's channel yet, if you love video games and if you want to hear a really cool voice, I think Mark's voice is amazing. You should have he has a podcast. I don't say you should have a podcast. He does have a podcast already. You go to Leave Your Mark and watch. Mark is cool. He does a lot of game streaming. I think he streams every morning at 7 a.m. here in Mountain Standard Time, which should be 12 p.m. in Cameroon, 12 a.m. in Cameroon. Anyway, yeah, I'm staying random because I'm focusing on posting. Once I get the routine of planning, recording, editing, then I feel like I niche down a lot. Yes. Something about creating that people almost always fail to realize is the fact that the non-sexy parts of creation, the editing, the planning, the generating ideas, the building a schedule, building a system. For example, one day I watched this video on Think Media about building your assets for Premiere Pro. It wasn't an exciting video. It was about making your folder so that when you want to start editing, you already know where to drop things in. You're welcome, brother. You already know where to drop things in. And it was a 1 hour thing that I did that normally would look like, what are you doing? You're just, naming files and creating things and labeling files. But ever since I did that, the speed with which I start to edit my videos have actually improved almost. I think I do it like 10 times faster. It's that simple. Just because I was able to create a template And imagine you had templates for everything. Like this article I wrote today, I wrote this article in less than 20 minutes because I built a template: introduction, outro, my 3 points, my 3 sub points. I followed the teachings of IODG and said, I'm going to apply these things and stop trying to create things from my head. Like I just decided I don't know anything. I'm going to figure it out. So Cheryl, when you say you're going to be posting, right? When you're going to posting your videos every day, that gives you a certain is the whole idea of confidence, competence begets confidence, because the more you do it, the better you get at it. I'm a better editor now than I was a couple of almost last year because I edit more, I watch more videos, I try to do more things. And I agree, if you when you're able to find that balance, first of all, you'll be able to incorporate newer things in your videos, and then you'll be able to do what you want. And I think that's cool. You should keep doing that. Make positivity last. Mr. Terrano, my good friend, a web designer, and I know you were writing on Medium. I don't know if you stopped Terrano. Do you used to write on Medium or not? Anyway, keep being awesome, bro. I really appreciate you showing up and watching the video. And if you haven't shared the video yet, please do like this if you like it, and share it on other platforms as well so that other people can watch. So almost getting to the end of this. Cheryl says baby steps for her. Yes, appreciate it. And then Ray says, you two actually helped me inspire me to become a teacher. Then I discovered it's not like dude, that is like, okay, this is the funniest thing I've read in the comment section so far. Oh, that GTO inspired to become a teacher, and I find out it's not like that. I don't know. My mom is she was, yeah, she was a teacher, and I've taught in my own way. And I think what I'm doing on YouTube is mostly teaching. I don't want to call it that way yet because I don't feel confident enough. But Great Teacher Onizuka is for me, it's not so much about the teaching, it's so much more about the it's more about the person. Onizuka is, I think he's a role model. But here's the part. I don't know those of you who have watched. Here's the part that actually is almost always bothers me. I haven't finished watching the show yet. This guy was a gang leader, gang member. He did all these terrible things. How did he change? Like, what happened that he wanted to become a teacher now? Is it because times change and gangs are no longer fun? Because at the start of the show, there is a gang and people know him like, oh, he's this guy, he's this terrible person. And on the back of my mind, I'm always like, what changed for this guy to him to want to lead this kind of life? And also, why is he never taking advantage of these young women around him? It's something that I'm curious about. I don't know. Even just saying that out loud sounds very weird. It's like people in his position, in the world in which we live in, would always try to take advantage of those kind of things, but he doesn't. Why? What is different about him? How did he become the way he is? And that's when I look at Onizuka. That's why I think people who don't watch anime are missing out on a lot of things, because I don't see how that show would have been made as a human show with human character, because that guy is just too incredible to have a human representative. The way they destroyed Death Note, or the way they destroyed, I don't want to talk about. I just cried in my soul. But anyway, yeah, Cheryl says Jesus is a Prince of Peace. We need peace in our life. I agree with you. My relationship with Jesus has been an interesting one. I think a lot has changed, and I'm still working through things. The same I'm working through my creativity and process. I feel like we're just all works in progress anyway. You need to figure out what works for you. Terrano says life is short. Ooh, let me come to that. Mark says, thank you. Much appreciated. You're welcome, brother. And Cheryl says, I've learned quite a bit in July. One can improve if one doesn't know what needs improving. Yes. Part of that article I was talking about, analyze what works, as literally number 4. Let me just share, just to prove my point. I'm going to share that link right now. Oh man, I want to prove to you that I'm not lying. I need your approval. So here's it. It says here, what is that article? Yes. Point number 2, analyze what didn't work. And then that's it. This is the video that I was talking about. What year is this? No. Oh, no, this is a Joko Willing video where he talks about other things. But yes, I agree with you, Cheryl. We have to always look back and see what is working, what isn't working, what can we actually do to change it. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over, that's the whole definition of insanity, right? By the lady who, Rita Mae Brown. Rita Mae. Yep. Cedric's probably laughing at Ray's comment. Ray I think that's. I hope that's what you're laughing at because I was laughing at. Ray says GTO actually inspired him to become a teacher. Then he discovered it wasn't the same. And Ray says I think Medium over promotes large news corporations like the Atlantic, especially if they mostly peddle bad news. Bad news equals progressive or even liberal. Ray, again, my answer for this is I don't care. Not personally to you. It's more like I use Medium for my needs. I follow the people I want to read. If I see an article I don't like, I don't follow. I don't read it. I feel like I have so much control in what I consume on my content. So if they're putting all this content, by the way, I have a friend who, whenever we talk about race, he has a very interesting perspective on race. And funny thing is, he's black. I will not say black like me, but he's African American. Oh wait, he's American. Yeah, because the term African American actually means you see, even when it comes to labels and this conversation, I'm not even qualified yet to talk about it. I feel like I still have a lot of education to do. But the point is, I've come to the understanding that we don't see things the same way. And talking about these things, unless I'm ready and I have the knowledge and the mental capacity to handle these things, right? I shouldn't engage in these conversations. So when it comes to Medium, I use Medium as a platform to grow my audience, as a platform to increase my income. I don't care what Medium adds in Atlantic and all these other platforms personally, because one, if I improve my writing and do my skill as a writer and I do very well, I can publish my books and Medium will have nothing to do with my income. Second, I am privileged enough to be able to put an article and have people clap and make money. Third, I don't even have to be a Medium. I'm choosing to be a Medium. So if I'm going to be a Medium, I might as well be on my own term. So they can promote all the articles they want. If I'm not following the platforms, I will not see them. So I don't. That's what I think. Have you read All Systems Read by Martha Wells? No, I have not. Let me see what that is like. All Systems Read. Oh, book by Martha Wells. Let me share this here with you. No. Yeah. Let me see. What is that? Share screen, Chrome tab. Voila. Oh, yeah. A murderous android discovers itself in All Systems Red. Let me see. Amazon. Let's pull up Amazon here. Ooh. The Murderboard Diaries. And this is book 1 of 4. I don't read a lot of fiction. That's something that I don't know if I want to change it, which is weird because I write fiction. I actually like writing fiction, but it's more exhausting. And my book, like the book that I actually want to write, not nonfiction about immigration or poetry, the book that I consider my book is actually a fiction book, which is making it harder for me to write. But I don't know, probably talk about that some other day. But yeah, so cool. Let's see. That seems cool. While watching GTO, I thought about some relations of mine. Actually, it made sense to me. I could at least understand them. It's weird, I know, but it's what it is. Oh man, see, there was like the vice principal, the vice principal in Great Teacher Onizuka. I watched this dude. This dude has a I there's a lot of stereotypes in I think in anime, especially the old ones, a lot of stereotypical male gender behaviors and female gender, and just bald-headedness and people who are in some kind of marriages. I think there's a lot of those stereotypes that when you watch critically you can see like, why is this man's life so miserable, right? That is it. That's Ray. Yes, Cresta. It's poor Cresta. That was the guy. The vice principal's car, man. But I wonder, like, why is his life so miserable? How did he get to that point where his wife doesn't love him, his daughter doesn't respect him, and then he's in school with this young teacher who's just making his life miserable? Like, but then he keeps going. Like, that's the funny thing about this. He keeps going every day to work. He keeps hustling. He keeps pushing. He keeps trying to make his family happy. It's something that I just realized now about how miserable his life really is. But he's never really given up. In fact, where I stopped, he's actually learned to respect Onizuka in a way that was different. And I don't know. I think there's lessons to learn from all of these characters. And I also think I should be rounding up the live in a bit. I don't know if you guys are enjoying this because I am, and I could stay longer than if we need to. But yeah, I would not want to spend all day here with you guys when you have your weekend to go hang out or do things. So Imanet says it's a novella about an artificial construct that calls itself Murderbot. It likes to watch unrealistic space operas. What? It has human feelings, but it's constantly pretending not to care, not to care for it. Okay, it does sounds pretty cool. I don't know if I'll be able to read it. I'll probably try to listen. Let me see. It's an audiobook. There's an audiobook, so I might actually listen to it. But thanks for the recommendation. I appreciate that. I don't know where if I'll be able to find it. Probably for next month or December, but I'll keep it on my radar. Definitely keep it on my radar. And Ray says, I still think promoting already large platforms at the expense of small ones like myself. A medium views and promotion is every a medium on medium views and promotion is everything, especially when you're a new contributor. So Ray, there's a couple of writers that I could recommend you read on Medium. And first, I would say I don't think that is entirely true about new contributors because I've seen new contributors on Medium who rise up usually because of the skill of their writing. And skill of the writing is also almost always based on what people want to read. So if you have ever submitted to any magazine of any kind and you're aware of things like editorial policies, right? A magazine has its editorial policy. Medium, if you consider it as a huge magazine, has its editorial policy. It has articles that it likes, articles that it peddles or not peddles. It's going to be based on what they want. So a quick summary will be if you don't like what Medium is doing, start your own publication, which is almost unfair because then you have to have the kind of money that they have and all those things. But then you say, well, it's lucky, but it's not really lucky. They built it. The second thing will be to understand the platform and play with the rules. And the writers I want to talk about, one that I would recommend who makes a lot of content on YouTube, he has a course on writing for Medium, is Ayodeji Awosika. I cannot oversell Ayo for anybody who wants to write on Medium. There's Ayodeji and then there's Sinem Gunel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing them correctly. These two writers have been on the platform, have written about the platform, have written about growing on the platform, have written about all kinds of things. So when I see this, your comment on, Medium proposing and this, and I know that these people don't write about politics. They write a lot of self-improvement content, which is true. There are other people like Jessica Wildfire, who write about relationships. The thing is, people on Medium have articles that they like to read. A majority of them, one of the top publications, the top topics on Medium is self-improvement, usually led by white, male, cisgender writers. And so when I see people like Ayodeji being one of the top writers, this is not a joke. He's shown his money, he's shown his accounts, he's shown everything. This guy is consistently winning as a writer on the internet before even Medium. He was writing before there was Medium. He came onto Medium with 0 followers. He grew up his audience quietly. He only very recently got his article published in one of Medium's publication called Forge. Yet Ayo has about 70,000 followers. What am I saying? Even if you go to YouTube, you go to Medium, you go to all whatever it is about building an audience, it's not if you build it, they will come. It doesn't work. If you don't write what people want to read, you're writing for yourself. And if you don't understand that, then you're just beating yourself up for nothing. So I don't think Medium's promotion of articles or publication is affecting your ability to write the kind of writer people want. I think you can find, first of all, one, do you actually see articles that you like on Medium? No, then maybe you're not looking for the right articles that you want. Because if you go to popular articles, I'm sure you'll find articles that correspond to you. People who write sarcasm, humor, whatever it is, politics, religion. There are articles about every single topic on Medium. The thing is, where do you want to grow? And that's up to you. So I can talk all day about this idea of Medium is doing this. There are whole Facebook groups of people complaining about Medium, about the algorithm, complaining about all kinds of things, even YouTube. But personally, I mean, this is actually getting me upset because they build their platforms, they made their rules. You either play with their rules or you leave. Like, what do you want to do? I don't know. It's not a government or publication. It's like on my channel right now, somebody come and telling me, you only talk about the things I want to talk about. Why are you talking all about these things? It's my channel. I talk about the things I want to talk about. If you have a problem, make your channel. That's the way I see it. I don't know how else to say it. So, yeah. Ray says, poor Krista. And Cheryl says, continue. We'll leave what we have to. Thank you. I will definitely continue. And I'm also, one other thing that I have to say is that I'm enjoying this process very much, especially because I use my Fridays to work on ideas and do all this planning. And I use my Saturday mornings to create so that by midday, I'm already mentally exhausted from the creation process. And then now I'm ready to just bounce ideas. So I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And, yeah, Ray says Trigon. I think I'm saying Trigon or Trigon. Oh no, probably find it. It's one of my favorites because I think it features an interesting perspective on living what outwardly seems like a harsh life. Let me see what Trigon is. Let's see what Trigon is. Yeah. Do you ever mix songs from like, I don't know, that are not supposed to be songs? Trigon. The movie, 2010 movie. Let me see. I'm going to check on it in my writing group. A guy wrote a script which looked like, oh, wow. Oh, talking about writing groups, I'm working on a book club. Just dropping out there. I'm working on a book club for sometime around November, December, maybe actually even January. It's actually a paid group club. It's a subscription service that I'm working on. I can't say much yet, but if you love books and you want to read and you want a place where you can take actual actionable ideas from books and use them in your life, then you should stay tuned because I'm working on something really cool. So let me find Trigon and share here and see what that looks like. Ray, if you're still there, can you let me know if Trigon, what I'm seeing here is the same? Trigon. Oh yeah, it does seem like a Japanese manga series. Let me see. I think I found it. Think I found it. Yeah. I think I found it. So Trigon. Japanese. Hepburn. Doraigang. Japanese. Let me put this thing here on this side of the screen. I cannot see. So Trigon Japanese. Hepburn Doraigan is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Yasuhiro Nitao. Why am I even? The manga was serialized in Tokuma Shoten's Shonen Captain in 1995 with 3 collected volumes when the magazine was discontinued in 1997. 2 years later. Series continuing Shonen, Gashua's Young King Hours magazine under the blah blah blah. Plot. Let's go to the plot. Trigon revolves around a man known as Vash the Stampede and 2 Bernardelli Insurance Society employees, Merrills Trifle and Millie Thompson, who follow him around in order to minimize the damages inevitably caused by his appearance. What does this guy look like? Let's see. Oh, there's no picture. Oh. Anyway, it does seem like a pretty interesting anime or manga. I don't think I'll be watching it. But oh yeah, Alex is still here, still watching. Cool. So I don't know. I haven't seen it now, unfortunately. Yeah. I haven't seen it. And Christian says he's going to check on it. His writing group has a guy who wrote a script that really look alike. I like to write, but I also enjoy the fact that it's personal. I will take class soon. I've heard story of people who also like to write but did not publish or put it out there. What do you think about that? That's a very, very interesting question because it's something that I think I've had to deal with at the personal level and also even at the professional level. For example, I keep mentioning this whole health situation in passing. The truth is, I've been thinking about an article I need to write for like almost 3 months now. It's very personal, but it's one of those situations that is like, do I really want the world to know about this? And I've hardly had any of the situations. For example, when I started writing in 2012 on the internet, I used to write about heartbreaks. I used to write about love stories. I used to write about, my difficulties. Sometimes I wrote about my depression. But as I get older and I think I'm getting more responsibility and my life is no longer just my life, like I'm connected to my wife, for example. If I'm writing about something in my relationship, whether I want it or not, my relationship is not just me. My wife is in it. So now I need to make the choice between will I, just write this article to increase my internet clout to gain an audience at the detriment of my relationship with my wife. So I think it's one of those important things of, as a writer, you'd also write. I mean, if you look at all writers, most of them like to write. They have difficulty writing. They just enjoy the process of creation of words and they read a lot too. So the question I'll ask is, why are you writing? Because if you're writing for yourself, then you don't really need to publish anywhere. You don't need anybody to read it. But the difficulty that I find in that particular case is if nobody is reading your article, first, you don't even know if you're improving. Second, if you're writing to actually express a way of viewing the world, but if you think about it, some of the best writers in the world, how to talk, oh, okay. I think I'll check out that book. Let me finish my rant on with this question on the screen right now. So I think there is no right answer of publish or don't publish, write or don't write. It's a personal thing. If you are a writer and you would like to make a living with your writing, it's inevitable that you have to publish it. If writing is something that you do for yourself, you can write in your journal, nobody will ever read it, and that's completely fine too. I don't think there's any right or wrong way. I think the difficulty is when people miss, like, they don't know why they're writing. They say, "Oh, I want to build a career as a writer." Okay, why are you not publishing? Well, I don't think my writing is good enough to publish yet. How would you know your writing is good enough to publish it if you don't actually publish it, like, ever? So let me read your question again and see if I'm actually going. Maybe I'm going out of the point, but I like to write, but I also enjoy the fact that it's personal. I will take a class soon, and I've heard stories of people who write a lot but do not publish or put it out there. I think in the world in which we live today in 2020, if writing is something that you love and you would like to do it for the rest of your life, you will need to find a way to make it sustainable. If you can have a job or a business that allows you to write and you don't have to publish it, that's fine. But if you can actually publish it, and then not only do you bring your words to an audience, but you also make money out of it, which allows you to keep writing more. Even the whole Disney, Walt Disney quote of "We don't make, money to, we don't make money to." What's the thing? We don't make money to make movies. We make movies so we can make money. No, we don't make movies so we can make money. We make money so we can make movies. Yeah. So some people make money from their writing so that they can write. They don't write to make money. I don't know if that makes sense. So not publishing your book limits the possibility of getting an audience and making a living. If you're comfortable with that decision, it's completely fine what you do with your writing. That's what I think. I know that's a long-winded answer to say do whatever the hell you want, but yeah, that's what I think. Ray was asking if somebody had seen it. No, I've not seen Trigon, unfortunately. I don't know if you're talking to someone else here, but no, I haven't. And Joya Kelvin says how to talk so kids will listen and listen so kids will talk. I read this book like every day. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let's see. So this is a list here. How to talk so kids will listen and how to read. Oh, look at Adele Faber and Elaine Maslish. Where's Amazon so I can show? Okay. What's that? Barnes and Noble. Oh, look at that. So, The Ultimate Parenting Bible. I'm not a parent yet, but it looks like I should be getting this book, huh? The Ultimate Parenting Bible, the Boston Globe, and a new forward, and available as an ebook for the first time. A timeless, beloved book on how to effectively communicate with your child from the #1 New York Times best-selling authors. That was my terrible attempt at, I don't know, 80s American radio voice. Internationally acclaimed experts on communication between parents and children. Yeah, I should stop that, shouldn't I? Adele Faber and Elaine Maslish are doing for parenting today what Dr. Spock did for a generation. That's for Trekkies, Spock. Parent magazine. Now, this best-selling classic includes fresh insights and suggestions, as well as the author's time-tested methods to solve common problems and build foundations for lasting relationships, including innovative ways to cope with your child's negative feelings, such as frustration and anger, disappointment, express your strong feelings without being hurtful, engage your child's willing cooperation, set firm limits, and maintain goodwill. Use alternatives to punishment that promote self-discipline, understand the difference between helpful and unhelpful praise, resolve family conflicts peacefully. It does sound like a pretty good book, doesn't it? Right? Kelvin, thank you so much for that. I think this is a pretty good book. I don't know when I'll be able to read it. I don't know if you've noticed, but even with anime recommendations shows, there's so much on my plate. Oh, this is Spock, not Star Trek. You know what, Ray? Ray, you're not a PC police, all right? But it's cool. Oh, yep. So yeah, Kelvin, thanks for the recommendation. I will probably have that on my list. Somebody's trying to reach out to me here. What is this tea? No, I don't want any of this. All right. So yeah, I think I'm actually a person I getting myself tired. I think I should be wrapping up in a bit. I'm really enjoying this. Every Saturday, by the way, every Saturday at the same time, I would put up a poster now to announce. So every Saturday, 12 midday here in Denver. Is what GMT -7 or +7. I don't know. But yeah. So Ray says, I think Disney forgot their own quote. I don't know, bro. They're still making money more than me. So whether they use a quote or not. And secondly, when you read about business, the more I find out about business is the reason why there's a mentality on building businesses that people who for example, don't actually build businesses themselves, don't understand. And it comes to, let me put this thing so I can. If you read a book like Zero to One by Peter Thiel, or a book like How They Blew It, it's another book where they're just, documentation for startups and companies that failed, or founders at work. There's a mentality at the start of a company that allows people to be very nimble. And I think one of the terms in 2020 or recently that represents that mentality is the lean methodology, which is, iterating and moving fast. So I would say in the beginning, nearly every single company is capable of doing that, because I don't know any company right now that is not any huge company. I don't know whether it's $1 million or $1 billion valuation, whatever it is. The bigger the company gets, the easier it is for the company to be ruled by people who actually understand the product. So you can have shareholders who have no idea what a good story is, who direct that, no, let's make this particular movies because we want to make more money from it because the franchise has been winning. Whereas the creativity, right? The creativity. Oh, thank you, Calvin. I really appreciate that, man. Creativity. Yeah. So thank you. Thanks. What I'm saying is, maybe at the start Disney didn't, they had the vision and all that. I look at almost every single company, be Apple, and I'm talking about. I need to remind of my own privilege of even talk about these companies. How many companies are there in Cameroon that you would say care about making value? People want to make money. People talk about capitalism in the US as if it's the worst thing on earth, which technically is like a human thing. We are built to work together and provide services and get rewarded for the services that we provide, generally speaking. But that's another story. And so I think Disney does what the hell they want, and if I have a problem with what Disney is doing, I'll just build my own Disney. So, oh man, thank you so much, Ray. Thanks, Kelvin. Thank you, uh, Cheryl. Thanks for understanding. I appreciate that. This has been almost 2 hours. You guys have been here with me the whole time. You know, I in every single video I try to say this because it means so much to me. I think time is extremely valuable, and when I go live, I want to actually get to give value. So if you can do me a favor, and Brian Brian is showing up when I'm about to leave. He says he's made it. I'm about to leave. So if you have any last questions or anything, I want to talk about God of High School, and I cannot show. I think, yeah. I don't know. Is anybody interested? Let me just show you God of High School here real quick, and why I want to talk about God of High School, because I want to make a video, title it all these cool things, and then not talk about it. That doesn't make any sense, right? So let me at least talk about the God of High School before I leave. So God of High School is a show that the reason why I got attracted to it first was this guy. There's this YouTuber called Gigok. If you love anime, watch Gigok. There's Gigok, and then there's Sylvanis. These are my two favorite YouTubers. Sylvanis does a lot of skits, and he just blew up recently. He got like 500,000 subscribers because he made a video titled, I think I talked about this in the previous live, titled people who think they can speak Japanese because they watch anime. I think was really funny. He did like part one, part two, part three. And so Gigok does like essay type formats talking about shows, talking about isekai, talking about shonens, and he did like sports anime. So I heard about God of High School from Gigok, and it's on this platform called Webtoon. I don't know if you know it. And Ray, I think you'll be very interested with God of High School, because let me just I just need to show you. I don't talk about it. Let me show you what it is. Let me go. I don't know if they have a Wikipedia page, but they should have one. No, no, no. Yeah, this is what happens when you have like 10,000 tabs on your computer. Ladies and gentlemen, don't have 10,000 tabs on your computers, okay? Just have like half. This is the last thing I want to show you today is the God of High School. Look at that. Ray. Ray. So a tournament takes place to determine the strongest fighters amongst all three. So publisher is Image Frame. It's in Korean. Ray, this is what I was talking about here. I know you're Korean born. Wait. Yes? No? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And so let's see. Let's pull it up here. So this is what the God of High School looks like. And I fell in love with the show from the very first episode. Unfortunately, they're just 4 episodes. I think you should be able to watch it on VRV. You don't have to pay anything to watch it, right? Yes. Ray, you're looking at it. This show was created on Webtoon, which is a platform for comics, and it's a very popular platform. I personally don't watch a lot of Webtoons. I think, Alex, if you're watching, you probably know what Webtoon is. So if you like drawing and anime and manga, there's a lot of them there. And this is one of the first shows that left from a comic to straight up to the TV from Webtoon. Yeah, Yeah. So it's been created since 2014. Actually, like for like 10 years, this guy has been writing this show. And Crunchyroll. fi- Oh, okay. You're not Korean, but I'm a Korean. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you. So, yeah. Yep. God of High School. I'm watching the first couple of episodes. I'm still wrapping my head around it. The fights are epic. The scenes are amazing. I talked about it the last time, but I just wanted to show you that if you haven't watched it yet, you should. And also, I am looking forward to the day when we can have Cameroonian comics, like people like Zebra Comics. Let me show you what Zebra Comics is. Maybe if you've been looking for Cameroonian content to consume, Brian, since you're watching, other people who are watching who like comics, I think you should check out Zebra Comics. The Zebra app, Zebra Comics from Cameroon. Let's pull up the Facebook page. So I know. Let's see here. Look at that. Oh yeah. Let me just close this first. So, if you're looking for Cameroonian comics, I just thought I'll take this opportunity since we're talking about anime and all this, and I will talk about the God of High School, which is like, Korean. This is a Cameroonian comics company made by young men who are drawing, writing, and telling African stories. I think they have a couple of their stories on Amazon, so you can purchase them there if you want to. And they're working. They keep doing it. And for me, I'm looking forward to a day when we can actually be able to make movies from comics like this one. I say, Zuma, since when you speak Chinese? Oh, look at that. I don't know what that, like. This is one of their titles called Totem, and yeah, you can support us on Anarchy. Okay, they have a start. They have a Kickstarter conversation. Oh, yeah. Brian says he bought one of their releases on Amazon. What did you think? Let's Oh yes, Joker. That's real. He's a really Melvin. Melvin is a cool dude. He's a very funny dude. Whenever I think of him, he made me read this book that Disney. Ray, I'm sure you're going to talk about this at some point. Where Disney they made a movie recently about Artemis Fowl, and the first time I heard about Artemis Fowl was recommended by Joker Suryo, Melvin. So yeah, it's a cool company. I think they're doing some great work. And the difficulty with Cameroon is that you cannot find funding to do a lot of these cool things. And I think we'll work towards that. The reason why I'm making all these things and creating all this content is because one day in the future or soon, I should be able to make enough value that I can add value in another way. But we'll talk about it in the next stream at some point in the future. And what I want to do now is really just thank you for being here. Brian, you did come late. Oh, he says he loved it. Brian says he loved the comics from Zebra Comics. So yeah, let me open up the Amazon page. So you can find the titles. Let's go through the titles actually. Let's go through those titles. Yeah. Since we're here, we're ending. You might be needing something to let me see. Amazon. Zebra Comics. I find it. Look at that. You see, this is the problem with the tags. When people say tag things, tag your articles, is because I just searched Zebra Comics and I cannot find it. So I'll probably need to go through Google and then find. Look at my life. I'm using Google as a search Zebra Comics. Whoa. Mm, okay. I think I'm lost. Wow. Let's see. Let's go to Facebook and then we'll find it from there. How about that? Does that sound cool? Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Zebra Comics Inc. They should have it on Amazon. I think I saw it on Amazon here somewhere just seconds earlier. Kickstarter. Nope. It's on Kickstarter. I don't see the Amazon link. Huh. Or I should try Zebra Comics Inc. instead. Let me see. Oh, I should try Nike Zebra Comics. Oh, I would try Doka. Try his name. Huh. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I don't know how this is very interesting. How I'm able to. Funny thing is that now I cannot. Let me see. Can I copy? Wow, I have to go to Facebook to copy this thing. Can you believe? Can you believe this? Can you believe my life? I have to go to Facebook, find my live stream. I didn't copy it from there because StreamYard would not allow me to do the copy directly. And I tell me something went wrong with my video. Well, oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Totem. Yeah, I should have found copy link. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. So this is going to be the last part of the video today. Appreciate you. So this is Totem, and this is I can read this on Kindle. Yay, enough Kindle Unlimited. Nice. So Agogo Franklin, social poet writer. A job I think is the illustrator. Yes, and yeah, in the heart of pre-slavery and pre-colonial Africa, Akam, a 20-year-old albino man, leaves the mountain cave abode on the Mumu Mountains to hunt and comes face to face with the execution of a village girl accused of witchcraft. He witnesses the execution in total awe and expressing surprise reveals himself to the executioners. They regard him with great surprise, scorn, and fear, and immediately seek to execute him as the existence of his kind is taboo. And cursing. Okay, I cannot read all this today. All right, guys. That's all. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. But anyway, you can find it here. I think you can find more. Let me see what yeah, these are the other ones. If you get to author, Aliyah is another one. Oh, they're all on Kindle Unlimited. I can actually. This is good. Thanks for that, man. So, yeah, I appreciate you being here today. It's been amazing. I enjoyed every single part of it. And I'm going to be ending the live session now. So, next Saturday, same time, we'll talk about probably an article, another story, and maybe I'm going to read some of the comics here. In the meantime, you stay positive. Try not to consume content that, triggers you. I really believe in cutting off negativity and pushing forward and doing what you need to do. Cheryl, thank you. Raymond, thank you. Brian, thanks. Kelvin, Imalet, I really appreciate your recommendations for the book. Christian Cédric, j'espère que tu vas bien. Peut-être prochainement, je vais faire une vidéo en français. Je ne sais pas encore si je vais commencer à faire les lives en français ou pas. C'est quelque chose que je pense à ça tout le temps pour voir si est-ce que je veux vraiment faire ça. Not sure yet. But anyway, yeah, we talked about a bunch of things, and I'm happy we had this. Cheryl, Raymond, Mark was here too, going through the numbers to see. We had Gina in the beginning, and she disappeared. We had Mola Ikome, Henry actually, and then we had Josh, my friend, and yeah, Itencel was here. So I appreciate you guys. I think I'm already yawning because I'm hungry. So let me go get something to eat, and then probably watch Fire Force because new episode came out, and then we'll talk later. Bye.